Okay, I found the captain. He's a corpsicle. Anyone got any bright ideas?
Search the body. You've got experience with that, right?
Cold Fear is a 2005 survival horror video game developed by Darkworks and published by Ubisoft for Microsoft Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation 2. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Storylines Explained. To this episode, we'll be looking at the story of Cold Fear. Before the starting video, I must say that we have lots of spoil in this video, so if you have no problem with this matter, then let's get into the video. Cold Fear is a 2005 survival horror third-person shooter video game developed by Darkworks and published by Ubisoft for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Microsoft Windows. It was Ubisoft's first horror game, and Darkworks' second game, after Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare in 2001. The game is centered on Tom Hansen, a member of the United States Coast Guard, who comes to the aid of a Russian whaler in the Bering Strait and finds a mysterious parasite has turned the crew into zombie-like creatures. Discovering the involvement of both the Russian mafia and the CIA, Hansen sets out to ensure the parasites don't reach land. The game was first announced at Electronic Entertainment Expo in 2004. To make the ship roll realistically, the developers had to write a completely new program to allow them to control movement on both the vertical and the horizontal axes. They also used real physics to simulate the movement patterns of inanimate objects on the ship. Due to the random nature created by this, the player character required 9 times the number of animations usually seen in third-person games. Ultimately, the game contained more than 900 separate animations for all characters, allowing for over 5,000 possible character movements. The game's soundtrack was composed by Tom Salta, with Marilyn Manson contributing a song from his 2003 album The Golden Age of Grotesque. Cold Fear was met with mixed reviews, with many critics comparing it unfavorably to Resident Evil 4. Although critics were generally impressed with the environments and the opening scenes, they found the game too short and felt it failed to live up to its promising beginning. The game was a commercial failure. By February 2006, it had sold only 70,000 units across all 3 platforms in the United States. Cold Fear is a survival horror third-person shooter played from either a third-person fixed camera perspective or an over-the-shoulder camera, depending on the player's preferences. The main enemies in the game are Russian mercenaries and various types of zombie-like creatures known as exos. Exos include exomutants, exoshades, exospecters, and exomesses. Most infected enemies can be knocked down with 2 or 3 shots, but unless the brain is destroyed, they will not die, and will eventually attack Hansen again. Players can destroy the brain either by shooting enemy in the head, or knocking them down and stomping on their head. If an enemy gets close to Hansen, the player can perform a critical hit by pressing a combination of buttons. All exos carry at least 1 exosoul within them. When the exo is killed, the exosoul may emerge and attack Hansen, or, if there are any other dead bodies in the area, infect and reanimate that body. Exosouls are fast, but very weak and can be killed with 1 gunshot. The first half of the game is set on a whaler in the middle of a storm, and the conditions on the deck affect the degree of control the player has over Hansen. As the ship sways continuously from side to side, aiming is made more difficult, although Hansen can grab onto a ledge to steady himself if one is available. In some instances, the ship can sway to such a degree that Hansen will slide towards the edge and potentially fall overboard. There are also numerous environmental hazards on the deck which react to the motion of the ship, such as swinging electrical wires and crates hooked up to ropes. If any of these items hit Hansen, he will lose health. Waves crashing onto the ship's deck can also cause Hansen damage. The game also features a resistance gauge, which decreases as the player performs certain actions, such as running, although running is not possible when in over-the-shoulder mode. If Hansen falls off the edge of the ship, he can hang onto the side as long as he has resistance left. But if he doesn't climb back aboard quickly enough, he will fall into the ocean. The game does not feature an inventory, and neither health packs nor ammo can be stockpiled. Health packs are used immediately upon collection, and no more ammo can be collected than the capacity of the specific weapon. Players can find ammo and health packs distributed throughout the game at certain predetermined locations, and also by looting the bodies of fallen enemies. The game begins with a Navy SEAL team deploying on a Russian whaler, the Eastern Spirit, in the Bering Strait. As the team explore the deck, they are attacked and killed by unseen beings that literally rips them apart. Seeing his team is gone, CIA Special Agent Jason Bennett, who is supervising the mission from another location, orders any other government vessel in the vicinity to investigate. His call is picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard ship, the USS Ravenswood, which heads to the Eastern Spirit. The crew of the Ravenswood split into teams, but within moments of boarding, only one remains: Tom Hansen, a former U.S. Army Special Forces soldier currently serving in the United States Coast Guard, who hears his shipmates being killed over the radio. He sets out to explore the ship and determine what is happening. As soon as he enters the interior of the Spirit, however, he is attacked by two frightened Russians, who he is forced to kill. As he continues to explore, he encounters a multitude of panicking Russians, all of whom attack him. He also finds several horrifically mutilated bodies, including that of the Ravenswood's captain, Lt. Lansing. Hansen soon learns of a creature known as an exosoul, which was accidentally discovered by the crew of a Russian oil rig, the Star of Sakhalin, owned by Colonel Dmitry Yusupov, a member of the Russian mafia, and staffed by Major Yuri Yanishenko and his team of mercenaries. Yusupov came to realize the exosouls were parasitic organisms, which used other living organisms as hosts, and as such, he brought Dr. Viktor Kamsky to the Sakhalin to begin experimenting with infecting various species with exosoul serum. These experiments led to the discovery that exosouls could reanimate recently deceased humans, and the creation of an antidote to counter infection. Hansen heads to the radio room to request help, but instead he is answered by Bennett, who tells him that Yusupov is on board and must be captured for questioning. Bennett tells Hansen that if he finds Yusupov, the CIA will get him off the ship. Hansen locates Yusupov, who tells him that Anna Kamsky, Victor's daughter, is on board and must be saved. Yusupov had brought her to Sakhalin to blackmail Victor into turning the exosouls into biological weapons. Eventually, Victor and his colleague, Dr. Pavel Bakarev, began to experiment on live human infection, and the Eastern Spirit was on its way from the Sakhalin to collect the next batch of human specimens supplied by the Mafia when the exosoul outbreak occurred. An exosoul then bursts out of Yusupov's chest, killing him. Hansen finds Anna, who tells them they must go to the radio room and contact her father. They contact the rig, but Bakarev tells Anna that Kamsky is missing and pleads with her not to return. She says no, telling Bakarev she will see him soon. They turn the ship back towards the Sakhalin, but because the seas are so rough, they are unable to dock with the platform. As such, they head to the crow's nest and jump from the ship when it collides with the rig. Hansen makes the jump, but Anna falls into the sea. Hansen soon finds Bakarev, who tells him that to disable the radio jammer around the rig so he can contact Bennett, he will need Yanishenko to get him past a retinal scanner. Bakarev is then dragged into an air duct and killed. Hansen learns that Kamsky and Bakarev were under orders to make the exosouls as dangerous as possible, which they had succeeded in doing, but without any way to control the resulting creatures. Hansen finds and kills Yanishenko, removing his eye and using it to deactivate the radio jammer. Once back in touch with Bennett, Hansen is told he must find Kamsky's laptop and transmit the exosoul research. Meanwhile, Anna is rescued from the sea by a large creature and left in a lab, where she is infected by an exosoul. Seeing this take place on a security monitor, Hansen races to the lab to give Anna the antidote. He makes it to her in time and administers the antidote before the infection can take hold. Bennett then contacts him and Hansen makes him promise that if he gives Bennett the research, Bennett will save Anna. He soon discovers that Kamsky infected himself with a strain of exosoul DNA, and now wishes to do the same to Anna. Hansen finds Kamsky's laptop and transmits the antidote data to Bennett, but nothing else. As a furious Bennett berates Hansen, he and Anna agree to blow up the rig using C4. As Hansen plants the charges, he learns Kamsky had gone completely insane. After infecting himself with exosoul serum, he released the imprisoned exos on the rig and planted a group of exosouls on the Eastern Spirit. He then went into hiding to await his metamorphosis. When Hansen has planted all of the charges, he heads to the heliport to meet Anna. Before they can take off, however, they are attacked by a mutated Kamsky, the same creature who rescued Anna from the sea. Kamsky is desperate for Anna to remain with him on the rig, but Hansen is able to fight him off and kill him. He and Anna then escape in a helicopter as the rig explodes below them. And that's it. I hope that it gave a good information about Cold Fear. But if you enjoyed this video, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts. As always, until next time, take it easy.